thought you do garage like.
Now, and she's honestly the second. There was a principal there before COVID for a short period of time. Whose son went here as principal. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they won. He was supervisor for Monday.
Yeah, they won. I just thought, well, they're still playing, but I just thought Curtis that they were going to win. Yeah, you want to have it?
Yeah. What, have you had this problem?
It's at Baptist. Yeah.
Perfect.
I have to find the shit right now. Over there.
Do you have the trophies and stuff? Is that right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Lorraine, Sal Fischetti.
Okay.
Hello, St. Anthony's fans and all others tuned in. My name is Eamon Bevan here, joined in the booth by Joe Wallace, and we are proud to present to you tonight's showcase of CHSA Division I soccer, only on the Friar News Network. And it's a good one tonight, folks, out at Cy Donnelly Field here in Melville. It's the St. Anthony's Friars, the reigning league champions and current holders of the number 3 seed in the division, looking to clutch the number 2 seed from the Firebirds of Kellenberg. Now, when you look at the past couple of matchups, your favor would typically sway in favor of the Friars. I mean, they've won 4 out of the last 5 and outscored Kellenberg 16-4. That being said, their most recent game on the 19th of September, the first win Kellenberg has had over St. Anthony's since October 8th of 2019, 4 years ago this last Monday. Can Kellenberg pull off another historic upset? We'll see in just a couple of minutes when we get to kickoff.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cy Donnelly Field for tonight's matchup between the Firebirds of Kellenberg and your St. Anthony's Friars. Tonight's a very special night here at Cy Donnelly Field. After tonight's game, we will be honoring our seniors, so please stay after the game for that ceremony. At this time, though, I would like to ask all those in attendance to please rise and remove your hats for our opening prayer, followed by the playing of our national anthem. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. St. Anthony, pray for us. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Welcome back, folks. Again, it's CHSA Soccer, the St. Anthony's Friars taking on the Kellenberg Firebirds. Now, Joe, I just got a couple of questions for you, just regarding how both of these teams have been handling their season so far. I mean, these two, St. Anthony's especially, the last couple of weeks, whether it be injury or form-based substitutions, they've been rotating such a sheer amount, it's almost hard to keep up with. And now you have the likes of Joe Juanu replacing John Iwalu at striker, and Carlo Marasevic replacing him. That defense is not the same one that played Kellenberg back in September. How do you think, when a team can barely score against St. Anthony's at all, I mean, Kellenberg did score 3 against them, but that's a very rare occasion. How do you think they can somehow repeat that?
Well, at first, I'm looking mostly at Cole Lawrence. Lawrence has been sensational over his past 2 games, and he hasn't allowed a goal in his past 2 games against St. John's and Holy Trinity. I also look at time of possession. I think the key of this game is time of possession, and ultimately the Friars' offense has been on fire so far, as we'll get on to later, but the key for Kellenberg's defense in this game is controlling the ball.
And that being said, regarding those substitutions, let's pass it over to you to introduce our starting lineup for tonight.
At striker, we're going to have the captain, Joe Juanu, followed by Christian Hall on the right side. And midfield group as Justin Ramirez, Dean Muraturi, and Chris Godoy is back in the lineup over at midfield, followed by Aristeo Aniceto. Christian Kelly, Carlo Marasevic, Nick Ferrara, and Nicky Galindo. We'll probably see Steve later on. And manning the netminder is Cole Lawrence.
And Juanu, who's been here since his sophomore year in this varsity program, played center back his entire soccer career, getting ready to kick off from that number 9.
Yeah, and Juanu's been great as a striker so far. He has had braces in the last 2 of his home games, so home cooking is certainly on display for Juanu.
And there's kickoff, folks. The battle for the number 2 seed so far in this season. Let's see how it goes down. Intercepted there by Aniceto. Tripped up a bit there, and a direct kick early on.
First direct kick from both sides. Let's see how they come out of the gate strong early.
You see there, Christian Kelly had some sensational performances over his last couple. Getting closed down there quickly by the likes of Aiden Mustafic. And now Chris Godoy is singing into that fullback role. Up to Nicky Galindo. Taken away there by Schmidt. Galindo now, Moratori. Lets one loose. And easily swallowed up by New State Top 100 goalkeeper Mario Lombardo, another 3-year member of the Firebirds varsity roster. And Mustafic. Taken away there by Ramirez. Tries to cut outside, and Schmidt's there again. Now Allen there, able to flick it on. There's the junior. Quick clearance by Ferrara.
Yeah, and so far, I've seen a lot of pressure from St. Anthony's. Don Correa's boys are going to have to put Kellenberg on pressure early on if they want to score a lot in this game.
And you know for a fact that these Friars want to repent for those mistakes that they felt they made back at Matthew Field in September. And that's an interesting matchup there. Carlo Marasevic spent his entire St. Anthony's career from that center mid position. Now, because of those injuries to John Iwalu, oh, nice flick on there. Good Christian, I'll get to it. Able to keep it in there, the man on his back. And Kelly able to keep it in, the 2 juniors there. Kelly whips it in here. Can he find a head? No, he cannot. Only the hands of Lombardo. As I was saying, Terrence Allen wreaked havoc on this back line, even with Juanu in that previous matchup. With Marasevic now moved out of position to handle him, it'll be a very interesting storyline throughout the course of this game. Now Ramirez trips up Aiden Mustafic once more. He's been pretty involved so far. It'll be a direct kick out of their own half for the Firebirds.
Another key is going to be limiting penalties and limiting fouls so far for this St. Anthony's team. Playing a clean game is key if they want to have success over a Kellenberg team.
Lombardo pressed down by Juanu. Kelly takes it out of the air, only met by some Kellenberg players. He'd switch there to the far side. Kellenberg looking to march upfield now. Man in behind is Cuscignano. Taken away quickly by Ferrara up to Godoy. Nothing there for St. Anthony's. Schmidt. Abildam has a man through here. And Sensational work there on the physical end by Nicky Galindo. Ushers his man out of bounds, and it'll be a goal kick for St. Anthony's taken quickly.
Yeah, and that's a really good play by Nicky Galindo, able to showcase his speed and beat the defender to the spot, so there's no chance there.
And Ramirez again
as he's tripped up.
Ramirez had quite the game against Holy Trinity. In the past few games, he's played the most minutes he has all season. He's given Don Creo a reason to keep him in there.
Yeah, and he's had a really nice season so far. 6 goals, 4 assists. That's tied for the team lead in points. He's had a really productive season so far.
Hall tried to flick on the long ball from Godoy there. No one there to support. This is back in the Fire's possession. And back to the sophomore keeper, Cole Lawrence. Marisevic. To Ramirez now. Bit hefty on the turn there as Schmidt gobbles it up. And knocked out of bounds by Marisevic.
Looks like it's going to be the first throw-in of the game so far for Kellenberg early on in this first half of play.
Good work winning it back there by Ramirez.
That's a good physical play to keep the ball.
I'd say so too. And now Carsey. Very experienced, very physical center back there. Real aerial presence. Actually picked up a goal in that last matchup in September at Matthew Field. Only 4 minutes in. Corner kick found its way off the feet of Carsey. It's Hall trying to feed Juanu in there. Eventually it's taken out by Rios, the left back.
Yeah, and to build on what you said, it was a 3-2 relatively low-scoring game. Let's see what St. Anthony's wants to get out to and push the pace out early.
Now Godoy misses there and Schmidt's able to take it up. Finds Koshigano. Godoy tries to clear it, ricochets and finds the feet of Allen. Schmidt now. Ramirez able to take it down there. Good win there. And can the Friars break? Looks to find Juanu, who's in behind here. Juanu early on. Oh, what a save there. He's still in bounds. And Hall just out of his reach. And eventually, tempers get too high. A free kick there for the Firebirds. What a look early on for St. Anthony's.
Yeah, that was a great A look. Really created by Justin Ramirez. He was able to win that battle and get it off to Juanu. Those two have such great chemistry, and it was able to generate 2 really good looks.
Now, Allen, good build-up play here. Koshigano on that far side. Cuts inside of Galindo. And a corner kick for the Firebirds.
Yeah, that's the second time Galindo's been able to showcase his speed and make a good play on the ball there.
It's not too hard to get in behind him when you try to. He's pretty solid at using that physique, ushering you out of bounds. Kellenberg, all too familiar with these free kicks. The same exact time, maybe a few minutes later, but this is the same exact scenario that put Kellenberg 1-0 up. You would not be surprised if they went back to that same play and tried to find Carsey at that far post. And Allen trying to move around Lawrence in his own 6-yard box. High lob there. Schmidt. Carsey taken away by Juanu. Tries to find Carsey again. And Aceto on the ball. And a throw in for Kellenberg, deep, right next to that corner flag. And this position of throw-ins, Kellenberg is all too familiar with. After that, after a good solid run of form after that win at St. Anthony's, a 3-0 loss against Chaminade, saw a couple of set pieces. Actually, all 3 goals came off of set pieces in that loss at Ott Field. You can't imagine that hasn't been everything they've been working on in those couple of practices. Friars are able to get a goal kick from that play.
Yeah, so far they've been really good defensively. No real good chances yet for Kellenberg. I expect that to change, but if you're Don Correa, you're happy to see what you've been seeing from this group so far.
Now, a bit sloppy there in possession, trying to build up out of the back. Rafael Sanchez cleaned it up. Tries to find Koshigano in behind. Bit too much mustard on that. Cleaned up by Lawrence. Sevic, another opportunity for him to drive. And again they're quickly cleaned up by this Kellenberg midfield. They've just been throwing bodies all over the place. As Kelly wins it back there. Juanu now. He was onside. But you could have me fooled in saying he almost gave up on the play there. No, sloppy back pass here. Can Hall get to it? No, he can't. Rios on that far side. Kellenberg looked to possess now.
Yeah, that's twice now. Kellenberg's gotten a little sloppy with the ball as there's a turnover near midfield this time.
Kelly tried to fix his mistake there. And Allen Ferrara tries to keep it in. Pass it back to Lawrence. Maybe the Friars will look to possess this time around. A lot of spin on that one. Mortori getting his first touches in, able to win it off of Schmidt. Kelly now pinned in on that far left side. Sliding challenge by Schmidt. That one's true. As he gets up from that, if you're on that Kellenberg sideline, you don't want to see your captain limping there. And Kelly, long throw into Godoy, picked up by Ramirez.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of him so far. He's been looking like one of the best players on the field.
Seto, neat combination there. Can he get a shot off? Ooh, tries to weigh that in there for Ramirez. Eventually it's picked up again. Godoy now, one time. Neat interception there. Godoy winning it back again. Mortori tried to take it first time. And Kellenberg now have a chance to break if Allen can bring this down. He can. He has wheels. Can he use them? Gets past Kelly. Here's Allen down this near side. Ferrara in front of him. Two juniors there. And Kelly wins it back, and he keeps it. Ooh!
Yeah, that's a really underrated breakup by Christian Kelly. Kellenberg was threatening, but he made light of it. As St. Anthony's gets a free kick.
And now it might feel like yesterday to some of these players. They have picked up a couple of home losses in this season, the likes of Pat Ned, Chaminade, Bergen Catholic. And in those games, Christian Kelly, not solid performances. He's been going up against some of the best wingers in the Northeast. Doesn't have that Nicholas Galindo-esque frame, but after that St. John's game, he picked himself up a brace. He's moving swimmingly from there on out. Good combination here in their own half. Schmidt trying to find Allen in behind that defensive line. High ball there. Almost put in jeopardy there by off the head of Karlo Marasevic. But Paul Lawrence cleans it up into Aniceto. Godoy in that center mid-roll. He can really play anywhere across this field. I mean, it's a wonder that the Friars were able to get him back for this game. He's been sitting out the last few. Missed that game against St. John's. Decided not to play against Holy Trinity. This is the first soccer he's seen in a game in a while.
Yeah, obviously it's a huge addition to get a top 100 player back in your lineup. But Chris Godoy means a lot to this Friars offense. He's listed as defense, but he can easily play midfield.
And a good look in
There's a chance
here. Cristiano. And again, Galindo on the assignment.
But yeah, like I was saying before, Chris Godoy back in this lineup. Getting a player like this, it really boosts your team. This is his first impact. This is his first looks at football he's seen in a while, and it's interesting to see how he'll respond as the game goes on.
And Galindo there. They've really been trying to test him in these opening couple of plays. About 12 minutes in now. And the second corner for St. Anthony, for Kellenberg, again coming off that right side. Whipped in here by Rios. And only batted down by Lawrence. Flicked out by Aniceto. But Schmidt gets to it first. Schmidt tries the turn. Aniceto won't let him. And the senior picks it up there, up to Juanu. He skips in behind the defender. Juanu, can he get it? And calls for penalty from the crowd. The referee is not budging. And what a tackle that was by the defender, John Anthony Panara. Now Schmidt, end-to-end game here we have. Tries to switch it. Ferrara takes it away. And here we go again. The Friars looking to take it into their own half. And a bit of a miscommunication there by Moratori and Giuano.
Yeah, pace of play starting to pick up. I expect to see some fireworks here soon.
Now Mustafic, the right back, going up this near hand side. Very physical this game so far, especially with the likes of Christian Kelly and his matchups. It looks like Schmidt. He had to be taken off.
Yeah, Schmidt's headed to the sidelines.
Yeah, I saw a bit of a limp there as he came off the sideline.
So first sub in here for Kellenberg, it's going to be Angel Arazo, the junior, coming in for Schmidt.
And immediately taken away by Aniceto. Quick 1-2 there. Him and Christian Hall. And not much support there. All he had was Hall. Firebirds able to take it away there, and they look to switch. Ambledame now driving. Galindo cleans it up to Aniceto. Farah now looking long. Mortori with the flick. And again, not too many bodies in that midfield. It's a high kick. It'll be a play on for St. Anthony's. Aniceto been so much more effective ever since that coaching staff made the decision. Have him play in between those center backs and those elevated fullbacks. As Godoy now playing from that right back, looks to swing it in. Almost finds Giuano. Cleared away by Rios. Allen now, sensational hold-up player. And Lawrence, calm under pressure, gets it back out to Marasevic. Quick play here by St. Anthony's.
Yeah, and like you said before with Aniceto.
Ramirez all sorts of time. Decides to take it on himself. Easily dealt with by Lombardo in his own box.
Yeah, and as we get a stoppage right here, like you said before with Aniceto, it makes coaching staff's life such easier that they have such a versatile player that they can plug and play into that center mid position each and every game.
Good job winning it back there. Bit of a scramble with that Marasevic and Allen. But the senior is able to take it away.
Aniceto with a fake there.
His signature move, you love to see it. Giuano getting deep here, trying to get the play going. Galindo into that winger role. Cuts back. Can he get a cross in? Opts for Godoy.
Getting into Aniceto, we've been mentioning him a lot so far.
He really can. He doesn't play everywhere. Whether you tell him to or not, he will be everywhere and he will help your team out. Ferrara, acres of space. Tries to lob it in. Nowhere near that 16-yard cleaned up by Moratori. Back pass there. Settled down by Godoy. And you see that the Firebirds have super sophomore, now junior, Terrence Allen, in between those St. Anthony's center backs. As I was going to say, that pressure in possession. One back there by Kellenberg. It's a 3v3, and good job there by Aniceto. Ramirez, can you get this offense going? To Moratori. Good shot move there. Back to the Friars. Aniceto.
But yeah, the way he's been playing, I feel like we're going to mention a lot. I feel like we're going to mention his name a lot more during this broadcast.
Tried the combination play there. It'll be a Friars throw-in. Finally, these two teams have had an opportunity to breathe. I mean, with the stakes at play here, you can very much understand why these two teams have been throwing everything to get a goal here early on.
Yeah, very physical game so far. These teams both know how much this game means. St. Anthony's 2.5 games back at Kellenberg, and a lot is on the line here tonight.
I spoke with a few members of their coaching staff. With a win here, which they are desperate to get, they just want to reestablish that standard of getting themselves back in that top 2 spot at least. It's a long throw in there, only as far as Carsey. And finally, turn of possession here. Kellenberg can get back into that St. Anthony's half. And on the other hand of this high-stakes matchup, Kellenberg trying to defend the 2 seed. Have the best chances, probably, of them getting into that final game. Since these two teams met up back in 2019, after Kellenberg took down Chaminade, St. Anthony's took down St. John the Baptist. In that last season where St. Anthony's was able to pick up a state title. Of course, Kellenberg now looking to cement themselves back into that fold as a powerhouse in this division. Ferrara, hours to drive into that D-line. Whipped in there, finds Juano. Couldn't bring it down. And it'll just teeter in behind that post. Lombardo, another goal kick.
But yeah, like you mentioned before, Kellenberg's had a really good year this year. They've had huge contributions from the likes of Terrence Allen, Brady Schmidt, and Zach Oliveira to have the season that they're having, which is a really good one. So, I mean, now that we've had around 15 to 20 minutes of play, what do you like from Kellenberg so far?
I mean, St. Anthony's has been a bit dominant in these last couple of 5 minutes, maybe 10. But you have to enjoy the fact, if you're one of the Kellenberg supporters tuned into this broadcast, that they've been able to get into that St. Anthony's half. I mean, in that last game where they won 3-2, the goals came off of a corner kick and 2 counterattacks at the end of each half. But they've gotten some consistent offense going, and you're happy to see that if you're a Kellenberg fan looking to see your team score here early on. There's a foul there. Looks like Abeldain pushing the back there of Aniceto. And a direct kick from about their 50. Aniceto to Godoy now. Playing in that defensive midfield role now. You know, he's versatile. Only 20 minutes in, he's played about 3, maybe 4 positions so far. And one back there, terrifically on the wing by Abeldain. Marasevic now. Not too much support in that final third. A bit of a disconnect in terms of space. Getting that ball fake by Aniceto. Godoy now playing from this left-hand side, whereas he started off on the right. Finds Kelly with some space on that left. Attempted combination. Didn't work then. They got it back. Mortori, direct replacement for John Walu, back to Ferrara. Flicked on. Juanu. Cleared away by Carsey. Mortori. Appeals for handball from the Firebirds. Nothing given. Now it's Ramirez. The bus was parked there for Kellenberg. He tried to get it back. Ramirez, that's one rip. Only into the hands of Lombardo again. Considering the circumstances of how this game was just a month ago, we haven't seen St. Anthony's attack like this against this Kellenberg team since that last matchup that they won back in the semis last November. Goal kicking for Allen. Aniceto all over the place in a good way. And a substitution there, Zachary Oliveira, goal scorer in that last game, replaced by Angelo Arazo. The junior now looking to take his space on that right wing. Schmidt back in the game as well. Marasevic clears it out. Ramirez, Moratori takes it down. And Hall, some space in behind. He can really get something going here. Whip it in. Juan on that far post. It stayed in bounds and ushered out by Lombardo. Almost a beauty of a ball there from Hall. But the result, St. Anthony's corner kick. Can they get something going at this 23-minute mark?
Yeah, and that was a really good play by Christian Hall to make something out of nothing. A beauty of a ball, like you said before. And just a good play to keep it out of harm's way. St. Anthony's gets set for their first corner kick of the game.
And Ramirez, now that designated set piece taker, with Zachary Law, who started most of the year, picked up an injury in that St. John's match, usually took every corner, no matter what side it was on. But now it'll be Justin Ramirez, the senior, whipping it in. Galindo on that far post. And they'll say a foul here. Christian Hall tried to impede the movement of Kellenberg's goalkeeper, Lombardo. And the referee was inside the 16. You're not getting away with that anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that.
Carsey now trying to find Allen. And Ferrara able to strip him of it there. Interesting matchup. Allen and Ferrara both found themselves on opposing sides of last year's league semifinal. Both in their sophomore year started a plethora of games for their respective sides.
Yeah, and so far, that's been the matchup to watch so far. Ferrara's looked really good across that left side in the center back position.
And it'll be the first substitution here with 21 minutes to go in this half for St. Anthony's.
Yeah, Vinny Dintrone's coming in for the game now.
Yeah, Christian Hall. You have to assume Coach Crail wasn't too pleased after that foul on the corner kick. He could have gotten a real good look from that. That'll be the speedy striker. Play anywhere over that, across that front line. Vinny Dentrone. Maybe he can pick up one. We'll see.
Already has 2. Let's see if he goes for 3.
Ferrara now. Lawrence. Marasevic, plenty of space. Ramirez dropping out of that 8 to support his team and building up. Same with Aniceto. And Kellenberg really dropping back. Reminiscent of that semifinal, you have to say. A beautiful beauty of a ball there. Finds Galindo. Can he whip it in? It's in bounds. Falls to Kelly. And a teammate nowhere to be seen of his. Now Cosignano on that far side to Abildame. Still in bounds here. Can Allen keep it in Can Allen keep it in? Fights for it, and it looks like what a move there by Allen. Almost looked like an edge rusher there, getting over top of Ferrara.
Yeah, and that's Terrence Allen being Terrence Allen, able to put a move on a defender and keep the ball in play.
Now Cosignano gets inside Ferrara. What could have been a shot, cross, anything. Had the St. Anthony's defense as well as Cole Lawrence frozen. But in the end, they say it came off with Marasevic. And a third corner kick here for Kellenberg.
Yeah, that could have really been a big play for Kellenberg. As the saying goes, the light's on, but nobody's home, and it's going to set up another corner kick.
Some pushing and shoving in there. Inside of Cole Lawrence's 6-yard box. Whipped in. Kelly able to usher it away. And Shan now. Schmidt. Again, can he find one of his teammates? No, he can't. Galindo Knight able to get to it. Carsey. Schmidt now. Chan. Oh, and a good ball in here! Offsides nonetheless. But hey, if it wasn't, sensational ball there by Pinaro.
Yeah, that ball had trouble all over it. Cole Lawrence was kind of left flat-footed in that middle ground position and didn't really know what to do. The Friars get a break as it's offsides and the shot's wide.
In this past 20 minutes or so, St. Anthony's has controlled the lion's share of possession. But when there's still plays like that where Kellenberg can just take you off guard, freeze the defense, it's not what you want to see.
Oh, of course. We've seen so far a couple bounces in this game can be very different for both sides. So if you're St. Anthony's right now, I really like the time of possession. I really like the ball control. However, I want to see more bodies on that.
And Giuliano tried keeping it in their possession, wasn't able to, and ended up getting to Schmidt. And eventually won back by the Firebirds here. Schmidt down that left side. He was all sorts of trouble in that last game in that exact position. Lawrence will take it one time, looking for Galindo on that right wing. Nifty flick over the head. And it'll be a foul. Bit of push and shove there by Cosignano on that far side. And again, a direct kick for the Friars. And I mean, of course, at the beginning of this broadcast, we told you St. Anthony's was starting in a 4-4-2. But as it's set up right now, this offensive formation, about a 2-2-2-4, perhaps. The attempted ball in behind there only falls out for a goal kick.
Yeah, and this coaching staff is one to make adjustments based on the game. So far, we're going to have to keep an eye on that as the game moves on.
And just from our view up here, you already see Chris Godoy started the game as a right winger, sunk back into that right back immediately. Galindo replaced him on that wing. Now one back by Moratori. Dentrone cuts back. Can he let up a shot? Yes, he can! And just in between the crossbar and the upright. They've had some good looks so far, and that might have been the best coming off the dangerous left-footed Dentrone.
Yeah, it was a good-looking shot. It just missed the top of the goal. Otherwise, that was going to beat Lombardo.
16 minutes left to go in this first half. Goalless as it stands.
Yeah, it's looking like we're deadlocked at 0, looking like it's going to be a repeat of the last game.
Lombardo ushering his team up. Tries to find Schmidt. Finds Aniceto instead. One by Ramirez. Can he clean it up? Chan tried to get it. But eventually falls to Pinaro. The referee tried to play advantage there, but foul called on Ramirez. The ball's played quick. Schmidt, can he turn? He'll have to possess. Giuliano looking to press. Hit away by Lombardo.
Yeah, and we're starting to see that pressure from the Friars here. Let's see how Kellenberg reacts.
What a tackle there by Aniceto. Oh, given a free kick. And he did make a play on the ball. Could have been clean. And typically you'll see slide tackles that are dangerous given a yellow, but clearly the referee saw nothing malicious in that challenge. Only 2 people in the box here for Kellenberg. Have to wonder what they're trying with this.
Maybe they're just looking to get the ball upfield.
Oh yeah, quick play down the side. Cosignano trying to find Chan. Swallowed up by Lawrence. Seto. Not too much motion up top there. Looks like saying things will stick with that 2-striker partnership. Dentrone and Giuliano. The weighted ball intercepted by Abildane. Cosignano. To Abildane, can he turn with it? Bit physical there. Might have been tripped up by Ramirez. The Firebirds keep it. Abildane all over the place now. Allen sinking in to help. Pinaro, overload on that side. Neat flick there. And as you heard one of the Kellenberg fans shout from the bleachers, no purpose really on that one. Abildane using that pace. Schmidt tries to combine. Offside flag goes up. And arguably the best possessive sequence of the game so far. I'm not sure about you, but they've really had the Friars on their toes there.
Yeah, I feel like the pressure on both sides is starting to pick up now that both teams want to get on the board. Still deadlocked at 0.
Just past the 15 minutes mark to go in this half. Friars had the greater share of possession so far. And you have to argue they've had the 2 best looks so far this game. That being said, Kellenberg has kept them respectable. Ramirez now sinking into that left back position, now looking to move up. Switch to Ferrara. Moratori now. Had 2 men around him, able to find Galindo. Can they get this going down this right-hand side? Giuliano. Pinaro took it away. Cleaned up by Godoy. Shot fake there, back to Giuliano. And a set out to Ramirez. Looks to lock one in here for Moratori. Finds his head, flicks it on. Only ends up in that 6-yard box again. Mario Lombardo able to save the day.
Lombardo taking his time. Running around. No idea what he's going to do. Plays it safe, puts it up the side.
Yeah, seemingly no pressure there from the Friars. Giuliano just letting them play into their hands, as they're playing out of a very low block defensively. And when that's the case, I mean, you do have the 2 strikers up there, Cosignano and Allen. There's a very large disconnect in between the midfield, that's all the way back in the 16-yard box, and that 2-striker duo, sometimes 1 striker. As Dentrone looks to keep it in. Cleared by Mustafic. And the Friars, 4 men back. Freedom to do whatever they want, really. That being said, sort of a waste opportunity there by Aniceto. There's Galindo moving across the pitch. Mortori shoved in the back, able to keep it. Godoy now gets there first. And Seto, always a fan of hitting a man on that switch.
More space here for St. Anthony's up the side.
What a touch there by Juanu to keep it in. Kelly in behind. Another neat flick there.
Beautiful pass.
Juanu! What a strike! Shushes the crowd, but the crowd goes wild anyways. The center back gets his 5th of the season. Walks up to that Firebirds bench. Calm down, you.
Yeah, and this is all Joe Juanu here. A beautiful pass from Hall up this side. And Joe Juanu buries it and scores again. Here we highlighted in the pregame, player to watch, and he finally delivers as the Friars get on the board with 11 minutes left to go.
Call him the gem. He's flexing those muscles to that Kellenberg bench. And just staying here in that away end supporting crowd. As they've already been playing out of a low block, it's very hard to move into that attacking position from there.
Yeah, if they want to get back in this game, they got to put on more pressure.
Need a much more fluid offense if you want to take down what has been over the past few games an incredibly disciplined St. Anthony's defensive unit. And challenged there by Cosignano, Godoy was limping, and that is the last thing you want to see. Here, Coach Correa. And look at that. Medical card out onto the field. Godoy not able to bring himself up yet. And it looks like it'll be the junior, Kevin Martin.
Yeah, you don't want to see this if you're a Friar fan, or any fan, of course. Godoy just off the injured list today, and we hope for the best as he's able to get himself up here.
Yeah, it's good to see him put at least some pressure on those legs there. And after the St. Anthony's medical trainer able to lift Godoy off the field, play will resume with 11 minutes to go in this first half.
As you mentioned, Kevin Martin comes back in for him.
Kevin Martin, very versatile player, can really go anywhere on that pitch. Though he does pick up a foul there on his very first involvement. Kellenberg looking to play quick. Schmidt to switch. Mustafic. Panaro. Allen in space. Can he turn? Cuts him left. Can he get a shot off? Good closeout. And one by Aniceto. Cleaned back up by the Firebirds. Turned there by Oliveira, who's back in the game. Got subbed out for Cosignano. Kelly all the way across the field. Got ahead to it. Throwing for the Firebirds.
Yeah, but this is going to be really huge without Chris Godoy. The middle of the pitch was kind of wide open for Kellenberg there as they start to put on more pressure. We'll see how St. Anthony's responds.
And Kevin Martin did get a very fair share of playing time in that last game against Holy Trinity, which really just shows you how important those games are. I mean, this is a very deep team all the way through for the St. Anthony's roster. And when you're able to test out their talents in games like that and put them in moments like this, it's where they can really shine.
Yeah, like you said before, this bench is one of the big pluses about this team. Having a really good depth is just as important as having good stars on your team.
And Ramirez been tugging there in Panaro. Referee opts to play on. It's a neat turn there by Panaro. Gets it out to his man Appledeem. Just played all across that left-hand side, sung it into the middle. And Martin there. Good job winning it there.
More subs coming to the game.
So would you look at that? 2 juniors replacing 2 seniors here on senior night. It's Andrew Wichik and Patrick Keena.
Yeah, as we see Ramirez and Muraturi go to the sidelines, you got to commend their effort here in this first half.
And what a better moment. The team adrenaline, you can't argue, has been higher this season. One of the most important games to win. If they do end up winning it, give it 60 minutes.
Yeah, and speaking of team adrenaline, these guys bring a lot off the field as they are characters in class. They are real funny dudes, and as we see,
good clearance there by Galindo. And left to roll there by Arazo, who sunk back into that left center back role, it seems, after he started on that right, subbing in for Schmidt earlier in the game.
But yeah, to add on to that, veteran leadership is what these guys bring, and it's really good to have them on this team.
And pressing impacts here, Dentrone wins it back. Short-lived, though. Rolls out for a goal kick.
And Tron with a number of plays so far in this first half. It's where the speed comes into play.
You can argue 2 goals for this season is not representative of how much of an impact he really plays in that third. I mean, he's a speed demon of sorts, and he can really play across that front 3 or front 2, wreaking havoc. Pinaro. A bit too slow there in possession by Kellenberg. Caught on their heels. St. Anthony's able to take their time. 7 minutes left to go in the half. Throw in here by Christian Kelly. Trying to get his team downfield. 3 fires around him. Some hands around by both sides. And sliding in there is Marasevic.
Yeah, Saric's been really good so far this first half. Way to neutralize the threat with Schmidt running up the field upside.
Showing the love there to one of his closer friends, Aristeo and Aceto. One thing you can describe them as is tight, more than anything. Schmidt now here with the throw. And in the same time frame, Kellenberg was able to get a break here at Matthew Field and get a goal to put them up 2-0 before halftime. Cannot say fortunes are quite the same this time around, but they are in some solid field position if they want to get something done. And Witchick in his natural left back position, although he can really play, he's just like Juanu really. Tall, physical, can play all across the field. It seems he's sunken into that sort of inverted supporting 8 role at center mid to form a really productive triangle there. And Vinny, Dentrone in behind. Solid touch. 2 men in front of him. Cuts it back. Juanu. Can only guess he's hoping for a second. What a win there by Pinaro. And the referee decided not to play advantage. It would be a direct kick out of their own half. A bit of a wasteful one at that, as Kelly wins it right back out of the air. Juanu now, Witchick. Can the Friars switch? And settle to Ferrara. 2-man press and a 3-man possessive triangle from the Friars. Schmidt pressing in Aceto. 5-minute mark just passed.
St. Anthony's getting involved in the pass game now as they head up towards midfield.
Witchick gets through a pair of legs, ends up at the legs of Mustafic. Back to Dentrone sinking in from his striker position. You can say that about basically anybody on this team. They've been moving in and out of position, and it's been working. Dentrone tries to find the feet of Juanu. Arazo says no thank you. Abildame, Pinaro, Rios. Forced back by the Friars. Switch to Mustafic. Witcher, can he win it back? Schmidt able to bring it down. Can he get something going for the Team E captains? He thinks so, looks to switch it now. Razzo, Carsi. Lombardo in possession. Good ball fake there. Splits the defense. And Carsey now moving up this right side. Carsey again looking for that long ball to Allen, who's playing more as a center midfielder. Solid job switching to Abeldain. Rios. Another switch in the books here for Kellenberg. That's Schmidt. Witchick in front of him. Cuts inside and swallowed up by Nick Ferrara.
Yeah, good play by Ferrara as he cuts up midfield.
He's a fast one, he's a strong one. He's one moving down that left-hand side. One back, though, by Pinaro. As Schmidt can break. Joanu on his back. Schmidt able to get it out to that left side. Oliveira. Tried to weigh it for Allen.
Yeah, they had him too. They had him onside.
Marasevic did a very solid job to intercept, you have to say. Arazo. The junior. Now Carsey. Abeldain, you can definitely tell that the Friars are more so trying to see out this lead until the end of the half. Just under 3 minutes left. And whereas they would be playing with 2 center backs, marking those 2 strikers, it's a full 4-back that Kellenberg is looking to break through here.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to play it safe and milk the clock. And I'm really happy with this half, this Friars. As a whole, I've put so far on the field.
Vustovic. Again, Kelly. Not the tallest one, but he's been getting to these balls. Carsey, Joanu tracking him down. Sloppy back pass. Once it out of bounds, no. And Lombardo's out of net. Joanu gets past him. There's no one in goal. But he also has no options.
Yeah, that really could have ended bad there for Kellenberg.
And that's just the last thing you want to see. You want to play it safe, if anything. If you're not attacking, you just want to make sure the Friars do not score. And that's the exact opposite of what went down there.
Yeah, not ideal to have your goalie that far out of net.
Witchick, 3 men around him. Stays on it. Shot! Lines were fluffed. Just a few feet wide of that right post. And the best look since the goal that Joanu had at a team scoring. You have to argue with the look St. Anthony's have had. They might be disappointed at that halftime huddle that they're not up a couple of goals. Approaching that 1 minute mark. Arazo, Joanu pressing down on him. Switches to Carsey. 1 minute left in this first half. Can the Firebirds get anything flying for them? Chan. Kelly again.
Kelly making his mark here throughout the first half.
Quite the stoic type he is.
And Schmidt with the throw-in.
Kelly doing everything he possibly could do to the best of his ability. As Kellenberg looked to play into Allen. Kelly moving down on him. That'll be seemingly a direct kick. Or maybe, yeah, there was just a bit of confusion. Oh, it is a direct kick. Yeah, there was a bit of pushing on the back of Allen. And in 16 seconds, it would be almost improbable for Kellenberg to get something now. Kelly clears. 5-second countdown.
Looks like he's going to do it for half.
Even with a couple of seconds there, Vustovic sees the ball set out of bounds. And that is the first half, folks. Joe Joanu moved from center back to striker only a matter of games ago. And he's picked up 5 goals since then. The 5th coming from a sensational strike from just inside the box into that far right corner of Lombardo's net. You have to say that the hopes of getting that 2 seed back in their hands is higher than ever for this Friars team.
Yeah, no Owalu, no problem for Joanu so far. He's been very productive out of that striker spot. And if you're St. Anthony's going to the half so far, you're liking your chances.
That being said, Kellenberg has had a fair share of looks, not as many and not as quality as the Friars have. But then again, anything can happen in this beautiful game. We'll see what happens, and if Kellenberg can answer this 1-0 lead when we get back from the halftime break.
And we are back here for the second half of what's been a great game so far. St. Anthony's, Kellenberg, huge matchup so far. 1-0 St. Anthony's, or 1-0, I should say. That's the baseball in me. But go Friars anyway. Eamon, what do you like from St. Anthony's out of that first half?
I have to say that barring that St. John's game that thankfully we had a broadcast for, that was probably the best half of controlling a game that the Friars have had all season. I mean, they've played some tough opponents like Chaminade, Bergen, Pat and Ed. They have a couple more coming up. But from what I saw from up here in the booth, they controlled the game better than they have all season.
Yeah, and we'll take care of the schedule a little later because down the stretch, the Friars are going to need it as they look to regain their second and first place rights. Second half kickoff coming up soon, but I would like to point out that St. Anthony's has put a lot of pressure on this Kellenberg defense, and ultimately it led to the Joe Juana goal that's going to be on the highlight reels.
You have to say, what a strike that was.
Oh, 100% as they break the huddle. And we're almost here for kickoff.
Yeah, and for those of you who might just be tuning in, St. Anthony's has this 1-0 lead without John Iwalu, who has been out for a couple of weeks. Zach Lowell picked up an injury against St. John's, and he's going to be out for a couple of games. And Chris Godoy, on his first game back after quite a long absence for his standards, about half an hour into the half, had to be carted off the field.
Yeah, and we still don't know what's up with Godoy. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, as we don't really see him off the field. However, Nick Farrar has been really good for this Friar defense so far.
I have to say, really, everybody's been solid for that Friar defense so far. I mean, Joe Juanu, he's been starting since his sophomore year against these Kellenberg teams, and this is one of the best defensive performances they've had, and it's not including him.
As Rafael Sanchez gets set to kick this one away. That's Terrence Allen, who we talked about in the pregame as a player to watch here today, and St. Anthony's has yet again done a good job containing him so far. As Allen gets it to Schmidt. Schmidt up the sidelines. That's to Allen up the sideline. Back to Lawrence in the goal keep. Lawrence sends it away. And there's a play, and that will be throwing. As Aiden Mustafic gets set to throw this one in, and Mustafic up the sideline.
You can already see just how desperate this Firebirds team is to answer quick. And that man on the ball right there is definitely the person you can count on if you're one of those Kellenberg coaches to make something out of nothing. Terrence Allen is a problem.
Yeah, we've seen so far only around a minute so far in the second half, but a lot more quick pace out of this Kellenberg offense as they look to try and get on the board. Let's see if St. Anthony's is up to the test and put up their third straight shutout. As it is thrown in, and Allen kicked away by Aristeo. Taken into midfield.
Ooh, good look here if you can get onto this.
And it is booted away by Daniel Carson.
And Arazo doing quite a quality job to cut off that high press by Dean Moratori. He might not be the most physically strong or intimidating person, but when he gets some pressure on that defense, he can really do anything he wants. As it drops to deep, Moratori, he gets a shot off! And just wide of the post.
Yeah, just wide. Another grade A look from Moratori. St. Anthony's looking to apply pressure and be more efficient in the second half.
That time, the ball just rolled kindly into his path. Took a touch, barely even looked up at the goal, just threw up a prayer, and it almost went in as Farrar wins it off of Allen. Witchick now playing as what seems to be a double six along with Aniceto, two defensive midfielders. It's Galindo. High, quick press here by the Firebirds. Consigliano back in the game. After Oliveira had a stint later on in that first half. Aniceto Can he turn out? Opts not to anyways. And what a move there. The closest thing you can get to an in and out in soccer. As the play's cut short there at the end of a Justin Ramirez long ball.
Yeah, and we mentioned Ramirez's name a lot in the first half. He was all over the center of the pitch, making fields as a midfielder.
And it looks like, and you saw this during that Trinity game, that St. Anthony's is almost set up in what seems to be a 4-1-3-2. They're running that two-person, that two-striker offense that they started the game with in Juanu and Hall.
Yeah, and although it probably won't produce another 7-goal game for this offense, you gotta like it.
One back here by Hall. Squares it in! Juanu off the post! And a hair of a length away from 2-0. Kelly back in. And that's a field goal. Wow, what a look that was. Juanu almost had his second after only 4 minutes. And this Friars crowd is fired up.
Yeah, great look here from Juanu, and overall this Friars offense. A quick turnover in the Kellenberg zone kind of ignites this whole scoring chance. Unfortunately, hit the post, rings off the bar, and it's still 1-0.
And from the way the Firebirds are looking at it, they need a goal quickly. And they're giving up that cushion that they had that first half as Witchick wins it back. Moratori. Deflects off him, Firebirds throwing.
Yeah,
As I was saying, Kellenberg gives up that defensive bust, that cushion that they were playing with to prevent another St. Anthony's goal at the end of that first half. But in turn, Juanu and Hall are both able to find space in between that defensive line and really manipulate it.
Of course, and Kellenberg's come out here a little flat to start the second half, as St. Anthony's has been all gas so far, with a couple of good scoring chances and a couple of misplays from Kellenberg's defense so far.
And on the throw-in, 3 men here in the box. Juanu trying to back down Arazo. Flicks it on. Tries to keep it. But Aniceto picks up the clearance. Galindo now. Friars look to reset. Lombardo ushering his teammates up the field as Ramirez fancy footwork to keep it in their possession. Although not for too long as it's taken off a fall. Kelly, the left back, stepping up now. Attempted switch to Witchick. Almost a push in the back. A foul is given. Firebirds fans to the left of the booth are absolutely livid with that decision. When the hands are up like that, it leaves the referee no choice.
Yes, Kellenberg is quick to get set up here for this direct kick, and it's close quarters. They're starting to build a wall here.
And you can see there, Ramirez tried to play it quick to Galindo, just couldn't get a hold of that.
Let's see if he can put an exclamation point to what's been a great quarter for him so far.
For you, Manuel Lombardo, top 100 player on Long Island. Ramirez with a strike.
Too high.
I'd say that.
Probably would have been good from 40 yards. Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times from St. Anthony's. Good looks, just not able to find the net.
And Kellenberg operating of what seems to be a 4-2-3-1. Lombardo just demanding his players to get up. Moratori. Hall. The junior cuts back in to Ramirez. Again. Again and again and again. It might just be the emotions getting to them. They do not want to drop this game, and they'll foul if they have to, and foul is what they'll do. Juanu tried to play it quick, a bit obviously 5 yards ahead. You could argue, as Aniceto steps over this one, it's an even more dangerous spot. As he can shoot from far out, as he looks to here in between the wall, and one of the bodies behind it manages to deflect it out. It'll stay in the Friar possession. Quick throw by Juanu. Witchick, 2 people on him, weaves in between them. Juanu. Galindo curls one. Hall, can he turn on it? Tries to win it back. Clearance works in the end. Allen, Ferrara all over him, loses possession. Moratori Rios takes it from him. And Aceto wins it in the air down to Witchick. Hall looking to track this down. Carsey boxing out. A touch in there. Captain! Ramona flick! And it's in! 2-0 to the Friars! It's that man again! Juanu jumping in jubilation here. And the lead extended to 2, as this is the happiest you've seen these Friars all year.
Yeah, and that's the backbreaker for Kellenberg so far. Joe Juanu putting another beautiful touch back into the net of the Kellenberg net, as this makes it 2-0 with a little over 13 minutes passed in this second half.
And a question for you. Just thought about it. One word that I would probably use to describe this Kellenberg team right now is flustered. And it's not a bad thing, because they have been playing quite decently since the start of the second half. They did have a couple of good looks early on, but St. Anthony's, you have to say they're just overwhelming them.
Yeah, and like you said, flustered is a really good word to describe this team as they start the break here. People tend to forget that Kellenberg, they've played already 2 games this week. This is their 3rd game, and they had their second back-to-back, as they already played Monday and Tuesday. So it's going to be interesting to see how much their stamina will hold up here late in this game.
You don't often see backs-to-back in the CHSAA.
Let alone 2.
But that is the case 2 times in a week for Kellenberg. They're traveling to I believe it's St. Dominic's tomorrow.
St. Dom's tomorrow.
Yeah, rescheduled away game. There's a throw-in deep in their own half, cleared away by Kelly.
Gotta love rainouts in schedule.
And Juanu, incredibly versatile, able to bring it down there. Schmidt closed him down, tried to weigh it into Hall. Hall went. Oh, a sloppy pass there by Lombardo.
Yeah, he just whiffed on the kick, and St. Anthony's couldn't capitalize, but not a good look to start the second half so far if you're Kellenberg, as there's some physicality in the corner.
And Witchett getting a bit too handsy there. But you have to say, the emotions are high. But
Yeah,
they're
the
not
frustration.
in the right.
The frustration boiling over for Kellenberg here.
And Arazo. Arazo left to kick it out from his own half, looks to play it short. Lombardo. Fans holding their breath every time their keeper gets the ball, as he did make quite the errant pass to get St. Anthony's a look there. Neat turn there by Schmidt, playing as a right back, where he's typically a winger, maybe a center midfielder. And again, he goes down.
And he's slow to get up, and he's hobbling.
Oh. You don't see that too often in the Catholic High School League. Referee says Ramirez needs to get up, but there were some extracurriculars after the play. Seems Schmidt two-hand pushed Ramirez to the ground. And you said the emotions were boiling over for Kellenberg, and that's a personification of the second half so far.
Of course, and for a player like Schmidt, he really hasn't done anything so far in this game. He's been really held under lock by Nick Ferrara and the St. Anthony's defense.
It doesn't seem any cards came out.
So we'll just play on.
Yeah, you might argue that Ramirez did simulate a bit there. Oh, what a move there by Aniceto. Plays it back to Ferrara. Looks for the shot. Right into the chest of Lombardo. But yeah, I was saying Ramirez might have gotten away with some simulation there. And I think what would have been a yellow card on any other situation leveled out both yellows. As he's dropping into that center midfield role. Galindo tried to find him on the overlap, but he'll settle for a pass to Ferrara. Ramirez now. Oh, another push there by Schmidt.
Pushing and shoving here so far.
And finally the card comes out. And as the rules work in the Catholic League, the yellow card means an automatic substitution. And if you're Coach Maziulis right now, you don't want to see your captain maybe get away with what could have been a second yellow had the referee not been a bit generous on that scuffle with Ramirez just a couple of minutes ago.
As Jaden Chan comes back into the game, he has 5 goals so far for this season for Kellenberg.
And a bit of confusion here. Clock might not have stopped there. No worries though.
They got it.
And they'll look to reset some time here. As a king's ransom of players in the box for St. Anthony's, a third goal would mean everything if Marisevic whips it in like this.
One could call it the dagger.
Sends him to Aniceto. Looking for Juanu. Can he get a hat trick? He brings it down. A push-off called off the back of Arazo. Juanu has had quite some of the emotional celebrations you've seen all season. You can tell he's playing with it too.
As he's had his third straight brace here in a home game so far, as he loves, like we said before, he is a home cooker. And guess what? This guy's a defenseman.
Moratori, can he turn with it? Taken away by Abdeldam. Attempted outside the boot pass by Rios. Moratori goes tumbling over Chan. As both the Kellenberg bench and supporting crowd are fuming in anger.
Yeah, and this is where the rivalry really comes into play. A lot more chippiness here in the second half. Don Correo's guys have to stay disciplined and hold on to this lead.
From what you can see on the broadcast, watch out for some pushing and perhaps some shoving in that box as this direct kick skates off. Lawrence tries to claim it. No call there. And finally, seems to be an offside. But there was quite a lot of contact in that box. Eventually, the Friars get their wish.
Yeah, and I feel like we're a broken clock saying, contact has basically been on every play. There's a lot of extracurriculars, and Cole Lawrence able to make a big stop there for St. Anthony's.
We thought it was physical in that first half. As Ramirez, can he turn here? Yes, he can. Witchick on the switch. Finds himself through the middle. Even set of men here for both teams. Tries to find Hall. Goes tumbling down after the ball was a bit too far out of his reach. Lombardo trying to get the offense started quickly. Into Cosignano. Galindo wins it right back. But two Firebird players there. A bit too much. Referee playing advantage. Decides to stop the play there. And another direct kick from basically the same spot. And Raza will look to swing it back in. Opt to play short here. Abdeldam, the junior sporting the iconic number 10. Weighted ball in behind. And 31 minutes left. Lawrence will have to waste some time. Coach Correa not too happy about the decision. Screaming from that sideline to get the play going. Ferrara to Witchick. Stripped away by Abdeldam. Got some space down that left side. Goes tumbling over. No call there. Goal kick is the final decision.
Yeah, as Abdeldam slow to get up, there was a lot of contact there.
That being said, you heard a lot from the crowd from the broadcast, but you might not have seen any Firebird players playing for it. I don't even think Abdeldam maybe. If there was contact there, he just thought it was a given. But the players were not convinced, even on his own side, that there was any contact there. It's Ferrara here. Acres of space to move into. Juanu checking in from his striker position. He'll settle for a lob to Moratori. Who takes it away after Arazo gets a faulty clearance. Galindo, can he find his way in behind? Tries to cut it back. No one there but Juanu. Can he go for it? He certainly went for it. Just not too close to that final target.
Yeah, and Juanu looking for the hat trick today. He's been by far the best player on this field as we see Brady Schmidt check back in. And, just a little bit wide there.
And he's coming back into the game, Schmidt. That is exactly why he has that captain armband on his arm. I mean, if anyone, you have to trust your captain to keep a cool head as much as the likes of Justin Ramirez and the rest of this Friars team will try to get at him. You want your captain to not be the reason your team goes down to 10 men. He's involved right away. Cuts back on Witchick. Beautiful turn. Here's Sanchez. Tries to play through ball in there. And Panaro, his touch gets taken by Aniceto. Giovanni in that left wing on the turn. Tries to chip it in. Only as far as Lombardo. Kellenberg opting to play out at the back. Panaro turns with it. And a sizzling set of combination passes there as Abdeldame looks to blow past Witchick on that left-hand side. And Consigliano. Here by Maricevic, and Ramirez has room to run into. It's a 4v4 in their own half for Kellenberg. Mortori on his left. Ramirez driving into the penalty area, tries to chip it. A bit too much curl on that. And it'll be a Kellenberg goal kick once again. 17 minutes have passed so far in this half. It's going by quick, and Kellenberg need to get something going soon. And that's exactly what you don't want to happen. Throwing for the Friars almost immediately.
Stoppage of play as we get settled with the throwing.
Yeah, in a close game like this with the stakes and the physicality, when you're the referee, I mean, this guy knows what he's doing, and you don't want any sort of time wasting going on.
Yeah, if you're Kellenberg and St. Anthony's, every second matters as the clock resets.
And some nautical miles for Ferrara to turn into. Grounded pass straight to the feet of Galindo. Tries to curl one in. And a bit too much on that. Juanu! Under the ball, a tad too much. He's gotten some good looks. A bit of fatigue showing, as he has been relentless in trying to get his hat-trick complete.
Yeah, that's twice now. Joano just put a little bit too much horsepower on it. This one sails over the field goal, but overall, really good luck for the Friars again. As Joano back up the middle again.
Back to Joano. Two people on his right. And Arazo's clearance straight into the face of the linesman. As Galindo will step up to take this throw in a very dangerous position, especially with what we've seen go in against this Kellenberg defense. And it looks like in just a moment it'll be Vinny Dentrone coming in. Not quite yet, but here's Nicky Galindo. Long throw. Juanu, can he flick it? Yes, he can. No one to meet it.
Yeah, relatively easy save for Lombardo there. No one really there.
And Oliveira, playing as a right back, can only get it so far. Ferrara, a very compact rectangle of pressing players. And what a flick there by Aniceto. Let's keep this play going.
Hey, man, if you were in this situation, how would you handle the lead? Would you try and keep the pressure on, or would you start milking the clock?
Well, I have to say, this is perfect. What they're doing now, possess the ball, you have a 2-goal cushion. Of course, it's a dangerous lead if Kellenberg can get one back, but the way Kellenberg are letting them play in, it's not happening anytime soon. And by my time there, Schmidt wins right back. And Witchick, never mind, that's Juanu, who seems to be sinking back into his natural position, cleans it up.
Yeah, and I have to say, St. Anthony's has had a lot of acres and overall land space in the passing game so far. None of their passes were really pressured in the backfield by Kellenberg.
A quick throw here. Schmidt, can he swing one in? He has to take it himself, marches into the penalty area. And Ferrara, with Allen all over him, able to slide in, intercept it. And it'll be another corner kick, I think the first of the half, for this Firebirds team. Sanchez to take it. Can never forget the fact that one of those goals in that 3-2 win Kellenberg had in September was off a corner kick just like this. Allen, some intimidating pressure as the referee talks to him, just to make sure he doesn't get too physical. He's all over that 6-yard box. Near post. Shot there by Panaro. Can they get it clear? Yes, they can. It's Christian Kelly who gets it out.
Yeah, that's a huge clear there. Kellenberg was threatening there, and really good clear by Kelly to, kind of neutralize that threat.
Dire situations here for the Firebirds. The 2 seed is at stake. As Juanu has time to drive, he has space to drive. Holland behind, it's Moratori. Dean Moratori. Deflected there, out to Ramirez. Galindo moves up to support. Now he looks to whip it in. Off the head. Collected by Sanchez. Consignano, Sanchez. Allen, can they get it going? Oliveira trying to make that run outside, and it looks like he'll get to it first. Kelly right on him. Sliding tackle by Christian Kelly, who's been stellar so far.
As we see Vinny Dentrone check back into the game, it looks like he's going to fall off number 24. That would be
Christian Hall.
As there's hugs and an ovation on the sideline.
And Coach Creel loves what he sees from his underclassmen as the throw-in gets bombed away there, and Dentrone has acres of space to turn into. 4 men in front of him. Good turn there, Carsey. And a cross into a singular person in the box. Not the ideal play there from Dentrone. It ends up back in Lombardo's possession. As many men up as we've seen all game for Kellenberg. Nonetheless, it still ends up with the Friars. Here's Dentrone to Moratori. Flicks it to Witchick, who keeps possession. Back to Moratori. Can he whip one in here? He looks to it. Juanu on that far post. And centimeters out of reach there. Might have even come off the boot. But nothing there for the Friars. And Joe, at this stage in the game, 22 minutes left. What could a goal mean for either side?
Well, especially for St. Anthony's, a goal probably means this one is over with the way the pressure's turned out so far, as we see a throw in here from Kellenberg. For Kellenberg, a goal means that you're still in this game. However, you still need one more. And as we've shown so far, this St. Anthony's defense has not allowed a goal, a singular goal, in 250 minutes. And that's just that you kind of see as one of the NFL's defenses, like the New York Sack Exchange, let alone soccer.
And Allen held up there by Ferrara. Whipped in here. Lawrence cleans it up neatly. And Consignano falls into that keeper's net. Again, some frustration and emotion showing from this Firebird team, desperate to prove itself once again against this reigning champion St. Anthony's team. Off that Moratori. Dentrone gets up there. The ball goes nowhere. Crossfield clearance. Intercepted. Some ferocity by Kelly.
Just over 21 minutes left to play in the second half. Still 2-0 St. Anthony's, with both goals coming from Joe Juwan.
What a turn there by Sanchez. And it looks like that we have a post-pass foul on Sanchez. I think he stepped on the foot of Christian Kelly. Might not have even been intentional. But when the studs go into a leg, that's just not what you want to do.
Yeah, not ideal for both sides there. However, I do want to mention, in speaking with Joe Juwana before today's game, he sounded very confident in his team's abilities. He respected Kellenberg a lot and what they were able to do, but he thought that this was a really good matchup because he liked the way this offense was clicking so far.
And Aristeo, beautiful control there. Some body feints to Witchick. Falls neatly. Almost to Moratori. Kellenberg trying to play out of their own half. They do so successfully as it gets up to Allen.
St. Anthony's still applying pressure.
Can he flick it on? No, he can't. Never mind. Let's ball in behind here. That Allen to Schmidt connection has been dangerous for 2 seasons now. But so far in this game, Nick Ferrara and Carlo Marasevic, who are not too accustomed to playing with each other in that center back pairing, have just equalized it completely. Justin Ramirez, space to run into. Up for the shot, and just wide. Hands on his head from him and everybody on that St. Anthony's bench. Only a foot or so separating it.
As we see Dean Muraturi come off here for the St. Anthony's team.
And Andres Ortiz Solano, the UTP student here at St. Anthony's High School. After getting a lot of minutes against Holy Trinity, a pattern which we've seen in these substitutes so far. Oh, a nice interception there by Joanu. Can Dentrone get on it? He can, but it falls to Joanu. Bicycle kick, trips in and cross it. And quite the obvious foul there by Dentrone. Nonetheless, good pressure. As Abdul Dame tries to build out of the back. And Pinaro and Aceto on him. 3 Friars able to take it away from Pinaro. Solano, he's got a magical right foot. Tries to wade into Joanu. Offsides anyways. And again, Solano, quite the solid performance. He did play striker, although he's usually a defensive midfielder. He played striker against Holy Trinity. Only a couple of shots, wasn't able to pick up a goal. But the way he can sink in, maybe play the 10, false 9, anything you want, he can do anything with that right foot of his. Now Abdul Dame singing all the way in, trying to get this offense going. Carsey plays it into space, maybe Allen can run into it. What a turn there by Marasevic. Again, and again, as Allen is furious that it's not his ball. Marasevic. From a center back standpoint, there are more imposing figures, but none as smart and as collected as Carlo Marasevic. Showing out on senior night.
Yeah, that's the beauty of soccer right there. Marasevic's made several key plays to neutralize his Kellenberg offense, and that's the name of the game, just neutralizing this offense, because this Kellenberg team is known to score in bunches.
And what a combination play there by Dentrone and Ramirez. Galindo running in behind, back to Dentrone.
They've got numbers if they hurry.
Turned by Solano. Ramirez. Over the top to Galindo. He's got men in the box. And just a poor attempt there. As the ball's still in. Joanu. Solano. A save. And Witchick. Almost 3. 2 shots in a perfect situation. Just not going through. As Lombardo needs his team to stay in this. That desperation gets into your playing style. And in a good way here for that Kellenberg goalkeeper.
Yeah, and Witchick was a little too trigger happy on this one. He had a wide open net, and his eyes just salivated. To be fair, I would too, and just missed it. I'm sure he'll get another good opportunity here in this one.
And again, Kellenberg not in favor down that left side. Ball came off them again off a goal kick, and the deflection is a Friars throw-in. There's a nice lob pass in here. Joanu trying to get to it, and he does! What happened there? Nonetheless, the magic man Joanu gets his hat trick. 3-0 for the Friars. It's like September 19th never happened.
Yeah, and Joe Joanu just doing it over and over and over again, showing how special of a player he is as he salutes to the crowd here on Senior Day. Another beautiful chance right inside the net where he likes to do his dirty work, and this is pretty much the nail in the coffin for this Kellenberg team.
And not the ideal day for the Firebirds. They most likely came into this game knowing for a fact that they can beat this Friars team. But in the end, it's a battle of want. And we haven't seen the Friars win too many of those when it comes down to those mental and emotional soccer games. That being said, they got it done tonight.
Yeah, and what's underrated is Joe Joanu just, saying, screw it. I am going to carry this team on my back, and I am the captain. I am going to make something happen for this offense.
The one man with that captain's armband, taking the place, literally, of John Awalalu. As the Firebirds want to move here. Schmidt cuts inside. Stolen by Galindo. And the Ferrara, thick as thieves, flexing on the Firebirds right now.
And at this point, if you're St. Anthony's, milking the clock is going to be the name of your game now that you're up 3.
Stepped in there by Joanu. Risky play there. Referee played advantage. Now Oliveira. Kelly. Brick wall. Ramirez now. Solano tracking down Abdeldame. Nice wing ball inside to the outside. Schmidt cutting back, tries to curl one. There's a man on the back post. But reached Oliveira a tad too late. And now you have to say that especially these seniors, these returning members, are having deja vu to dominating games against Kellenberg last year.
Of course, we mentioned this in the pregame that it's been mostly St. Anthony's, and this is really the get-back game for them, as they've really, took care of business against Kellenberg usually, but they had a really tough loss here on the 19th against them.
And Galindo all over right now.
As Joe Giuliano gets a huge standing ovation with a hat trick as he is taken out.
And plenty of hugs on that St. Anthony's sideline. What a better way to cap off your final senior night.
J-Mo Dratty in for the Friars now.
Yeah, with the game basically in hand, Dratty provides an excellent option of pressing and pouncing on opportunities from set press. As Kelly looks to go here, and Aceto, hours to work.
I mean, we've seen this before. When could we see the Friars pull their starters if the lead holds up?
Well, I think that it is senior night. You have the likes of Stephen Galindo, Michael Ryder down on that sideline. Eventually, it's going to be an all-senior lineup. You have to think. When that'll come, who knows? Nonetheless, Kellenberg, when they're in attack, are trying to press on that gas pedal. There's a flicking behind, up in the air. To Witchick, tricks it one time. Blocked by Azaro. Abdeldame trying to get his team going. Solano forces Schmidt inside, gets a boot on it. And a ball in behind, Marisevic cleans it up.
As we look ahead down the stretch, St. Anthony's, their next 5 is going to be away. They're going to travel to Fairfield Prep. And then they come home for St. Dom's on the 17th. And then they have the biggest game of the year, Chaminade, away at Chaminade on the 19th. And then they come back for 2 more games, Monsignor Farrell the 21st, followed by a back-to-back away at Garden City the next day on the 27th.
And on the other hand, Kellenberg only have 4 league games left. There's a shot here by Oliveira. First real save of the night for Lawrence. Able to nudge it away, and Galindo clears it. Tally on the score sheet when it comes to shots for the Firebirds, but if it's not going in, they don't want it. One by Solano. Kelly now. Another night of his life performance. As he gets clipped at the ends of that play. Looks like Consigliano. He's down holding his ankle. And it seems that he'll need some attention here as he prompts the clock to stop. And as Kelly gets treatment, the senior night substitutes will come into play. We have number 5, Kyle D'Amico, coming in for fellow senior Vinny Nentrone. And after a solid shift all across that midfield, off comes Andre Solano for Stephen Galindo. Him and D'Amico, both 4-year members of the soccer program. You have to feel they're happy to pick up a win in this final senior night.
Yeah, and this is such a special night, especially what all this group did last year. To soak it all in one more time as seniors is just icing on the cake.
And more to add on, looks like we'll have Paul Vito and Michael Ryder, two defensive players coming in. No budging from that Kellenberg bench. 12 minutes left to play. And a comeback basically impossible. It's Kelly limping off tenderly, but getting off the field nonetheless.
Yeah, sensational game with from Kelly so far. He was really able to lock down the Kellenberg's main threats. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
You have to say, from the past couple of games, Kelly is just in the form of the season. Would you argue that he's having the best form of maybe any player for St. Anthony's right now?
Of course, you could definitely make a case for it as this one's kicked off by St. Anthony's. He's really coming to his own, and we're seeing what this player, Don Correa, was so high on heading into camp.
And of course, he had some tough matchups, rough performances, but he's come into his own and been that number one option at left back for Don Correa, which is quite the honor if you see the names that have been on that list.
Of course, and you know how the saying goes, you have to beat the best to be the best, and he's certainly learning from that. And there's a shot, and it's deflected by Lombardo and out of bounds.
And Galindo there found it on the half volley. And it's Sean Richards, who got subbed in for Lombardo just a couple of minutes ago. His first look at a save tonight. I mean, it's quite the cold one.
Yeah, to harp on what we said with Kelly, he's really come into his own the past, few games.
Speaking of fullback, we've got Paul Vito. 3 years in the soccer program. Freshman, JV. Wasn't on the roster last year, but don't worry, he's back.
Yeah,
as Wojcik whips it in here. D'Amico on the far post, a couple of bodies down in the box. Ramirez looking to get to it, and he does. Back in by Wojcik. Just behind D'Amico. Oliveira looks to clear it. Off the shoulder of Aniceto. It'll roll out for a Firebirds throw.
Yeah, more importantly, we saw Brady Schmidt come out on the sidelines. That's going to tell me that Kellenberg's basically waving the white flag here.
And they would have to settle down at some point. Just have to go back to the drawing board after what can only be described as not ideal for this loss. Good step there by Ferrar, who gets it back up to Ramirez. Skillful turn there.
Yeah, two evenly keeled teams coming into today's game, which makes this win for St. Anthony's all the bit more impressive.
Aniceto now Marasevic tried to find Ryder playing from the left back position, just a bit short. Good tackle there by the big man. And one there by the senior. Ramirez keeps it in bounds. He's got Draddy and D'Amico ahead of him. Into Wojcik. It's a 3v3 here. Friars with a chance to get 4. There's Draddy chasing it in behind. Kept in bounds. Two buddies there over Paul Vito. James Andrade Galindo is back. Andrade get to it. Nudge in the back. And just an unfavorable situation there by James Andrade. The two are getting very physical, slipping a bit. And Azaro seemingly got somewhat of an elbow to the ribs. Of course, unintentional.
Yeah, and to harp on the schedule, like I said before, the game that circled is Chaminade, of course. How would you beat that if you're St. Anthony's?
I mean, with the way Chaminade was playing around them last time, only a couple of games ago, as Richard looks to turn in here, cuts back onto that favored left foot, curling one, just wide. As we were saying, Chaminade has played completely around both of these teams. No goals conceded in the league so far this season. A 3-0 win against Kellenberg, all off of set pieces. A 2-0 win against St. Anthony's. It was a penalty kick that was very favorably won, and a header in the first 30 seconds. Those are dominating wins. There's nothing you can do about that. And going into that fixture, some teams might be down on themselves. Sometimes it might seem that some hope is lost, especially at some positions. But nonetheless, it'll be a battle of want, and it's proven that St. Anthony's can win one of those, especially after tonight.
Yeah, and adding on to that, I think a huge part of this St. Anthony's is getting healthy. As soon as they get back John Awalalu, that's going to be huge for this whole entire team as he's their captain. And was among the league leader in goals and overall points before going down with concussion-like symptoms. So getting him back is going to be pivotal for St. Anthony's if they want to be the team that they were last year.
Andrade pressing Richards, almost got to him. And Rios tries to flick it, quickly won back. D'Amico. Ramirez, sliding tackle. Well, it could have been a direct kick there. The referee settles to give him a throw-in. In single digits now, just under 7 minutes left. And Ryder, every time you see him take a throw-in, it's always that long one. Off Galindo. D'Amico, the shove, and a subsequent foul. Now, Joe, I'd just like to ask you, in the case of the visiting team, the Kellenberg Firebirds, 3-0 loss today following the other fixture was one of the biggest wins in recent program history. 3-2 win over the reigning champions a couple of games into the season. This time around, shutout, hat trick given up. It's not what you want to see. How do you come back from this if you're Kellenberg?
Yeah, I feel like if, there's a humorous side of it and, just laugh it off and say, hey, this never happened. This team is a really talented group, as you could see with their record and all the points they've scored and all the goals they haven't given up. So if you're Kellenberg, there's a lot to like in your team. This is a team that you beat first at your home at your home crowd. And I think if you're Kellenberg, you just regroup as there is contact up the sidelines.
Where you thought the emotion settled over, what can definitely be looked at as an intentional push by Ramirez, scoffed off with a no card. That's Kellenberg looking to get at least one back before the game ends. Not for Witchick. Andrew Witchick marching forward here, has Draddy in behind. He's got the wheels to get onto it. Can he get it around Azaro? Keeps it in, but Carsey gets it out. And a bit of confusion there in the throw-in. Good job winning it back by Panara.
As we approach the final 5 minutes here in this one.
Of course, Schmidt got subbed out, but the likes of Panaro as Steven Galindo looks to unleash one. It's cleaned by Richards. As I was saying, Panaro's still in, but Lombardo and Schmidt, both captains, both got subbed out. And when it comes to individual performances, from both sides, who do you think really stood out today?
Yeah, I feel like Schmidt had really good looks. He just wasn't able to capitalize, and that happens. You're going to have games like that. It's his job and his responsibility to wash it off and say, I'm the captain of this team, I have to take charge and do what he does best, and that is score points and put up goals. As there is a stoppage of play with 4:19 left.
Yeah, it seems Ramirez might have gone down with an injury. Nonetheless, he was going to get subbed out as Martin comes back into the game. And it looks like after most definitely his best game of the season, the Swiss Army knife that is Andrew Witchick can finally take a break. They're replaced by Kevin Martin again and Nelson Beausoleil. His first action tonight. Just a throw deep in St. Anthony's territory. Quickly dealt with by Michael Ryder.
Yeah, and Beausoleil is another key cog of the St. Anthony's team.
And Rios down the line. Marisevic, another airtight defensive game for this Friars team. And in their last 3 league games, 18 goals to nothing. You don't see that too often. When it's as prestigious a program as St. Anthony's, that's what they want the standard to be. As Allen reaching into his bag of tricks there, evading 3 St. Anthony's defenders. Oliveira not able to bring it down. Marisevic tries to clear with the back heel. And Aniceto intercepts it. Now looks to break. Subsequently, taken down. And with 3 minutes left, it can be decided basically. It's all but over now. Pardon me, all is over now. And as the Friars look to get everyone up, the Firebirds also seek to get everyone back, as if you're one of the coaches on that sideline, you have to argue 3-0 might be enough. And a bit of pushing and shoving there.
Yeah, it's been extracurricular activity all game.
And with 2 minutes left in all but one game, it's a bit unexpected, but nonetheless,
Gotta love the library.
game still goes. And Seto now on the left side to Beausoleil. Solid physical work there by Kyle D'Amico. As Paul Vito making that overlapping run. Just not able to keep it in there as we reach the 2-minute mark. Now, of course, the default emotion, if you're one of the St. Anthony's coaches, is happy, you have to say. But going into the upcoming practices, they have only a couple of days until that away trip. Oh, so looking behind here, go left sides. As I was saying, only a couple of days until that away trip to Fairfield. Over the next couple of games, what do you really think that the Friars can take out of this win and apply to this ending stretch of the season?
Well, I think first part, I think you have to take into account, consider the health of Chris Godoy, because he's a real key cog, as we saw today, as he was able to be plugged and played basically all over the field. But to answer your question, Em, the Friars can take out that they can get microwave scoring when they need it in those high-scoring games.
Andretti in behind, it's good.
But yeah, when they need a goal, they have people to rely on. Not just Joe Giuano, as we saw Vinny Dentrone with a couple really good looks, Dean Muratori with a couple good looks. So if you're Don Correa, you have to love that aspect of your team going into the home stretch.
Cole Lawrence falls in it. There's 30 seconds countdown here on senior night. Performances sensational all around the board. Off the top of my head, you have the likes of Joe Giuano. Pretty obvious, he's got a hat trick. Christian Kelly, another sensational game. Justin Ramirez, incredibly solid. Nicky Galindo, Nick Ferrara, that entire Friars back line really showed up today. And they have to be pleased with their results. That's 3 seconds left on the clock. Final shot here. And as we hit final zeros, that's it here on senior night. It's taken up by the sophomore Cole Lawrence. The Friars can't be anything but happy about this result.
St. Anthony's with a convincing win over Kellenberg, beating them 3-0 based on the hat trick of Joe Giuano. 2 in the first half, 1 in the second half. And overall, this is one of the best games St. Anthony's was playing the whole season. In a must-win game, the Friars show up as players go dap each other up and shake hands. There is a ton of respect for this rivalry.
And a lot of emotion tonight. You have to assume it's going to be so much more come playoffs. Chaminade, undefeated record. So more likely than not, unless that powerhouse of a team drops games, we will very well be seeing this exact matchup at the Sousa complex come that start of November. As the players meet at the touchline and shake hands, that's it here on senior night. St. Anthony's 3, Kellenberg 0. Thank you for tuning in.